Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ron. I want to talk about the open RPG that's just been released by Paizo and about Christians in the role playing game world and in the wider world, and how it, from a Christian perspective, how we should be dealing with this. So, and anyone else that's listening, please understand that this is really great that what's happening with all of the community, the Dungeons and Dragons community, seeing this and sort of being shown something before it became kind of secretively growing and then everyone accepts it, like the frog in the boiling, simmering water type concept, which I don't know if that's true or not, but we understand that concept. I really like that everyone has woken up to this. So I've left Dungeons and Dragons like since last summer. I'm still playing one campaign, Tomb of Annihilation, which I really enjoy. I really am enjoying it with the players. But I've left Dungeons and Dragons since last summer, and I've been working on a Christian role playing game, and it is Christian. It's a specific narrow. I do want to do an open license for that, an open RPG, but with the caveat that we have certain Christian beliefs that we have to follow. Other than that, I don't mind other Christians taking my game or the rules and then creating their own campaigns and selling them. That's great, because then now there would be two of us. So I'm not in a financial situation that requires me to have my claws and everything. And I saw Dungeon Coach, his video, and that was when it really hit me about everyone that, caringly, lovingly, professionally invested their life into Dungeons and Dragons and the open license and having in the cottage industry. And I should have known better. So he did a great video on that, Dungeon Coach. And I was like, wow, he gave up his teaching job. He's taking care of his family, and he's doing it through this open license. And now that and he just got there to where he could. So I feel for you, guy. I'm really, you've been, your videos are great. That the way you, express this and your openness about it. I really appreciate that. As far as the Christian world, so if you're a Christian playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're concerned, hey, please follow me, subscribe here, or check out the Kickstarter. I'm starting February 2nd or 1st, and my website is Storytelling Ron. I'm putting everything up. The game will be free, the PDF, so that you can just download it right then and play the first couple of adventures. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put in it, and I've already got a printer, so I'm figuring out. I'm going to start the process right now. The game is done, by the way. I just need to clean it up and format it. But okay. So the open RPG, I'm definitely going to do that for this game. I'm my goal here isn't to make money. I mean, it'd be nice to have money and do an R&D trip to Italy since it's set there. But my goal is you just want to serve God when you become a Christian. It's just something in your heart that you want to do. So that's what I'm doing. And I saw back in the summer and before that, we all did, how D&D was becoming very woke and very sort of agenda driven. And I'm like, well, I might as well become agenda driven in what I believe in. And here's another thing I want to give out this concept. I should have started this part earlier, but Christianity, the basic core of Christianity and conservatism is to not give someone too much power. And that's, even Christians know we are sinners, right? That's the basic foundation. We are sinners. And so we don't give anyone too much power, including our own pastors. Your pastor or our pastor of a church and the elders don't have power over our faith journey or whatever. They're teachers for us, but they don't have power and control over my life. They can't tell me what to do. The only power they have is that they can kick me out of the church. That's it. They can't tell me what I can and can't do. I mean, they teach it, and then they tell you, but they can't force you or make you do anything. It's up to you to be that Christian or not. And again, like it says it in the New Testament, the only power they have is to kick us out of their church if we're not following the faith, and our fruits. So that's it. And that's the same with everything else. Conservatism, a conservative, the basic core belief of a conservative, amongst barring anything else, is we can't give power to too much power to individuals or organizations like the government. So limited government. We can't give the government too much power over our lives. So I'm just telling you, that's what conservatism is. That's it. Christians cannot force you to be a Christian. We do want a modicum of morality, right? The basics of morality, for kids and the whole sexuality culture. We want a modicum, okay? And then it's freedom to do whatever. Now, there's going to be a lot of false Christians and a lot of crazy Christians. That it says it in the New Testament. It says there's going to be a ton of crazy Christians and churches, failed churches, corrupt. Ergo, we don't want anyone to have too much power. We don't want the government to have too much power. We don't want a church to have too much power. We don't want anyone to have power over anyone's lives. But we do want a foundational law, morality of laws. And that seems to be where we're at right now, fighting over just the basic laws, which is kind of sad. So when a person or a politician tells you they're going to get you a job, they're going to get you health care, they're going to educate your kids, that is not a good thing. Okay. That is a horrible thing. That means they own you. So, and I'm going to just come out and say it. It's the Democrat Party that does that. They promise you all these things, and that means they own you. And then they tell you how bad or racist or horrible the Republicans or conservatives are. And we're like, well, we just don't want to tell anyone what to do. We don't want to force you to do anything. We don't want to create laws that control you as well. We don't mind communities figuring out little laws based on, bad pollution or bad this or bad that. But we don't want a big overarching government that controls everything with an agenda, with an activism, outright. Okay. So we want individuals to have their own property, own their own intellectual property. So cottage industries, free markets. So the open license is, to me, a conservative idea, because you're allowing everyone to partake and make money. We believe in making money because that's the best way for you and I, right, to be encouraged in doing something. And as Christians amongst ourselves, and I've just come across this recently when I'm doing creation tours, or I've done a couple. The guy, and I said, they can, just donate or volunteer. And he goes, no, charge. Because when you charge, it matters to them and to you. It becomes a real thing. So that's why for the Christian RPG, I am going to allow the free version, but I'm going to charge like Kickstarters or whatever. Because it really, when you get paid, it really encourages you, makes you own it and want to work on it and feel rewarded. So that's that capitalism concept it's in the Bible too. The disciples went around and said, hey, we're going to disciple you guys, but you don't feed us unless we work. You house us and feed us, but we have to work for that as well. And so, they can't be like crazy busybody nobodies. They have to actually be productive even when they're around. So again, that's what the concept of us Christians, helping each other and paying for things. And I don't mean like greedy, wealthy, false Christians. I'm just talking about that basic, reward or pay for doing things. So that's where I'm at with this Christian RPG. That's where I'm so fascinated too by all the videos coming out about the open RPG by Paizo, or how this has all been the OGL and how that's been happening. And that's the thing. I see that too, as that whole centralizing and controlling of an idea, of a property or of a market. Just like Amazon and Google and Apple, where we are allowing corporations to have their greedy hands in too many areas. Amazon should not be doing all the things that they're doing. And back in the 20s and 30s, Hollywood was broken up by the government because they thought it was becoming too powerful. They used to create the movie, own the theater, and do the theater thing. There's three though. It's create it, delivery, or the theater itself, and what was the other thing? I forgot. But they split it up, so you couldn't make a movie and own the theater. You could either own the theaters or make the movies. And so that really broke up that industry so that more people could own it, have ownership in that field. And that's the sad thing now that's happening in the big tech, is that everything is getting bought up. And after the lockdown in my wife's industry, the fashion industry, all these indie fashion companies, they all got bought up. So by big conglomerate corporation money, hedge fund things. And it's pretty sad to see that, you and I and cottage industry, free market stuff is being bought up, especially with government policies that wipe us out. And then, things like this where they think they can do this license thing and then wipe everybody out. So it's good to see you guys all fighting back, all communicating, creating videos. Communication is awesome, and activism, so that we all have a free market of ideas and a free market of games. And I'm putting myself out there as a Christian ministry role-playing game. And I will be doing some videos on some other RPGs that I think are Christian or have a Christian element to them, so that you can play those as well. I'm gonna probably do that somewhere after the Kickstarter that I'm doing. I've got the Alien RPG, which I think you can play as a Christian. I got Wolves of God. Yeah, Wolves of God. That one, done by the guy who did the Stars Without Numbers and all that. I've got what's that one called? I don't know. I have it in my. No, I have it right here. Oh, Lexicultum. That one's creepy. Vazen. I think those are all sort of Christian. There's a strong Christian element in them that you can, use and play a Christian character. And by playing a Christian character, it doesn't mean you have to, do Bible verses or be theologically accurate. It's more like you're a Christian with the morality of a Christian, and then you, dear Lord, help us, and maybe you can get a power of prayer, skill, or talent, or whatever. And then every now and then you'll say something to the NPCs and see how the GM reacts, and with theology and hope and goodness and self-sacrifice, and showing them. And even and I've been watching the Alien movies and how they have Christians in them. They all get whacked, but I can argue some points in there about either their faith or the world around it, and how they have a better argument, or we have a better argument. But anyway, so that's coming up too. But I'm focusing on the Kickstarter right now. So anyway, it's just been great to see all these videos of open art, the license thing, that the OGL and the open RPG, and people jumping up and doing their thing. So that's exciting. That's exciting news. Interesting. It doesn't affect me, but like I said, Dungeon Coach, and realizing, wow, it does really affect people directly. And to see the courage and bravery of them that to be nice about it, to be, hit hard, but react in a positive manner and look for other options and look to work with others with RPGs. That's a really wonderful thing to see. All right, so I'll talk again soon. That was just my latest on that.